各位观众大家好，欢迎收看邓鸿说法节目。这集礼拜天做礼拜尤其是今天在 Glendale Arizona 州有个特别的节目，就是要纪念我们保守派的活动家 Charlie Kirk 的去世。这位在这个10天前在犹他州被暗杀的保守派人士以后在今天的这号里边的话，刘龙珠律师在这个球馆的外面以后还有我们的前沃纳市的市长也是我们前国会候选人Eric Chin 陈正国也在这边这个刘律师跟大家问候一下子吧。刘律师听得到吗？
听得到。邓大哥好，秦市长好，各位观众大家好。我现在呢在现场，在这个就是在 Arizona 州这个体育场纪念，等一下过1个钟头就要正式开始的纪念 Charlie Kirk 的这个追悼活动的现场。因为等一下呢，川普总统、万斯副总统还有 Mark Rubio 国务卿也都会出席。所以这个现场呢，这个场面呢就非常震撼，因为为什么呢？他这个呢，其实昨天晚上11点半，我接到这个 Turning Point 发过来电子邮件，他说今天早上开门，其实正式开门呢是这个是7点，早上7点开门，但实际上早上3点就已经进不去了，就很多人根本就没睡觉，就一直呢在这边守夜，守了一整夜。现在体育场里面已经有10万人，已经全满，外面排队的大概至少有3万人，现在还人源源不断的涌进来，所以呢就不断的有一波一波人进来，一波一波人出去，因为为什么呢？根本觉得根本挤不进去了，所以非常疯狂。然后我刚才跟当地的这个警卫，做警卫的这个警察跟他们聊天，他们说你呢，他跟他们旁边很多人问说能不能挤进去，他说你想都不要想，很多人3点进来都没能挤进去，对吧？你现在都10点了，7个钟头了，所以他的原话是 It doesn't make any difference, anyways, so don't feel bad about it。现在很多人呢就已经大家可以看到他呢就这个回去了。你看4周我给大家看一下，旁边这个白色的车呢是当地的这个警察的警车，然后呢这个树后面就是那个 State Farm Stadium， 就等一下呢在这里办纪念这个 Charlie Kirk 的活动，这个川普总统、万斯副总统都会讲话，大家可以看一下，就很多呢民众从世界各地涌进来，然后不少人穿的这个 T 恤上面写的是这个 Freedom。So 这旁边这个写的是 We are Charlie Kirk. Hey man, how are you?
How you on?
Yeah, I'm doing a live streaming.
Oh yeah?
You want to say a few words about Charlie Kirk?
No, I gotta get home.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. 所以大家可以看到，我刚才问他要不要讲2句话，他呢可能一夜没睡觉，所以回家了。
那当然的话，那个
所以呢，这个可以表示这个大家非常热忱。Yeah。
先生的遗体从飞机摘下，这个从犹他州运回犹他州的时候，犹他州运回Arizona 的时候，他也是跟副总统的太太在一起那时候的感受那现在川普已经是正式出场了，当然的话这里边但是他像男的说怎么样做好一个丈夫，女的怎么做好一个太太更重要呼吁大家以后能够让在这个查理斯的死亡里边的话，能够让更多的人上去看圣经去上教堂，这就是查理所要看到的。当然大家争论比较这个多一点的话，大家在这个在这个场合他说我原谅了这个凶手当然这个部分也是非常非常感人的这个当然这也是很多就像我们网友的 Peter 来说这个就是基督教他们宽宏大量原谅凶手，但是会不会因为他的原谅这个刑事案件就不追诉了这个部分的话这个我看一下刘律师在现场里边的话刘律师好像川普要出来了你那边的话刘律师我们可以看得出到现场里边的话在等候川普的当然很快了川普也会在 里边来发表这个专题演讲。当然，我们很多网友都知道，也看到 Erica。最重要一点呢，他看到了勇气。最后他说Turning Point 他会接受挑战，会将接任Turning Point 的董事长继续完成这个查理的传道之路，让更多的年轻人觉醒起来。他里边谈到的话，他们夫妻里边成功的一个秘诀，就是每个礼拜六查理都会给他先生都会给他一个很重要的一个问候查理都会跟太太这个讲述一个礼拜所说的事情并且的话，他还提到一点的话，就是查理都会问他有什么东西我可以做得更好的让我变得更好的一个丈夫。所以这个就是他们婚姻非常美满的一个这秘诀。我们看看这个川普有没有开始讲话了。当然了，现在的话还是这个唱这个歌，一旦指这个歌的话是有版权的，一旦指有播放这个部分的话，很多时候这个马上就有可能会影响的事情，这个版权的问题了。所以这部分我们就暂时等了这个歌曲完了之后我们继续来这个再听听川普的演讲当然川普的话已经准备开始上台了。
Well, I want to thank you very much, Lee. You've been there from the beginning with us, Lee, and we appreciate it. Nobody can sing that song like Lee Greenwood. Thank you very much, Lee, very much for being here. And his voice has not changed, you know? Pretty amazing. And a special thank you to Erica, because today America is a nation in grief, a nation in shock, and a nation in mourning. Less than 2 weeks ago, our country was robbed of one of the brightest lights of our times, a giant of his generation, and above all, a devoted husband, father, son, Christian, and patriot. Charles James Kirk was heinously murdered by a radicalized, cold-blooded monster for speaking the truth that was in his heart. He was violently killed because he spoke for freedom and justice, for God, country, for reason, and for common sense. He was assassinated because he lived bravely, he led boldly, and he argued brilliantly without apology. He did what was right for our nation. And so on that terrible day, September 10th, 2025, our greatest evangelist for American liberty became immortal. He's a martyr now for American freedom. I know I speak for everyone here today when I say that none of us will ever forget Charlie Kirk, and neither now will history. Because while Charlie has been reunited with his Creator in heaven, his voice on earth will echo through the generations, and his name will live forever in the eternal chronicle of America's greatest patriots. He will live forever. To Charlie's incredible and beautiful widow, Erica, we know the weight of this monumental loss is almost unbearable. But even in the midst of heartache and pain too great to even fathom, you have somehow found the strength and deep faith to be a comfort to millions and millions of people. And thank you very much, Erica. Thank you very much. Today, an entire nation wraps its loving arms around you and your beautiful children. We share in your immense and overwhelming sorrow, and we vow that we will do everything we can to ensure that your children grow up in a land where their father is honored and revered as a great American hero. That's what he is. To Charlie's parents who lost their beloved son, and to the entire Kirk family, we know that no words can ever be enough to fill the void he leaves behind. That's a void that just can't be filled. But I hope the extraordinary outpouring of emotion over these past 11 days has comforted you with the knowledge that your son brought more good and love into this world in his 31 short years than most people, even very, very successful people, can bring in a lifetime. Charlie Kirk loved America with everything he had, and as we can see so clearly today, America loved Charlie Kirk. And he could always draw a big crowd. Look at this today. Look at what's gone on. This is a big crowd. Here today we have the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance. We have the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, Mike Johnson. We have countless members of the United States Senate, and I'm sorry I'm not going to introduce you, but I'll be up here. They're all over the place. And likewise, the House of Representatives, they're all over this big stadium. This is not an arena, this is a stadium. Our great cabinet and this stadium packed with rafters of people, not to mention the one across the street that also has tens of thousands of people. And they're watching us on screen right now. And I'm sorry we couldn't get you in. If anybody would like to give up your seat, please walk across the street. But this is like an old-time revival, isn't it? An old-time revival. For millions of Americans, especially young people, it is agonizing and unthinkable to say goodbye to a patriot whose heart still had so much to give. It's so much. Raised in the suburbs of Chicago, Charlie was filled with a patriotic spirit from his youth, and he was an all-American in everything he did. And one of the last things he said to me is, "Please, sir, save Chicago." We're going to do that. We're going to save Chicago from horrible crime. In high school, he was the quarterback of the football team and the captain of the basketball team. He was a good athlete. A lot of people don't know that about Charlie. He was an Eagle Scout who spent his school lunch breaks listening to another champion for liberty, somebody that he greatly admired, Rush Limbaugh. But what was even more important to Charlie than politics and service was the choice he made in the 5th grade, which he called the most important decision of his life, to become a Christian and a follower of his Savior, Jesus Christ. Inspired by faith and his love of freedom, Charlie did something remarkable when he was just 18 years old. On the advice of a mentor who told him to put off going to college because he was doing so well, he devoted his life to converting young people to the conservative cause. How did he do? Take a look. How did he do? In 2012, 2 days after graduating high school, and with just $1,800 in his pocket, the young man from Illinois, who no one had ever heard of, started an organization whose grand ambitions were captured in its name, Turning Point USA. Great name. And I have a feeling it's going to be bigger and better than ever before. Does that make sense? It's going to be bigger and better than ever before. Look at what's happening. 12 years ago, Charlie walked onto his first college campus, the very liberal University of Wisconsin at Madison. He set up a card table and put up a sign with 3 words: "Big government sucks." Can you believe that? That's Charlie. That day, Charlie talked to every student who approached him, most of whom were probably quite a bit older than he was. Finally, after many hours, he found the first ever Turning Point chapter leader. His first year out of high school, Charlie traveled 300 days raising money and taking his message to campuses all over the country. He lived out of his parents' basement, and they actually loved having him there. They loved Charlie. Everybody loved Charlie. And on the couches of friends and supporters, he lived off couches for 2 years, 3 years, then life started getting a little bit different, but he was always the same. For 5 years, he refused to take a paycheck, but day after day, he worked from 5 a.m. in the morning till 11 p.m. in the evening, always. His staff remembers that he wore Walmart jeans and T-shirts from the Goodwill store. Remember the Goodwill store? It wasn't easy, but Charlie wasn't in it for money at all, never has been. Money was never his thing. He was always in it for the mission. As he liked to say even back then, we have a country to save. Just what he did. He'd call me all the time, "Sir, we have a country to save." I said, "Charlie, thanks very much for telling me that. I appreciate it." Charlie volunteered for my 2016 campaign and traveled the nation with my son, Don and Eric. I got to know him very well and saw immediately that Charlie was actually a master builder of people. It was Charlie who first started organizing young black conservatives hungry for support and leadership. It was Charlie who stood up for persecuted Christians and Jews on college campuses. It was Charlie who helped bring online censorship, free speech, and cancel culture to the fore of our political debate. He was right up there with me. It was Charlie who helped unite MAGA, and you know what MAHA is? That's right, Make America Healthy Again. And tomorrow we're going to have one of the biggest announcements, really medically, I think, in the history of our country. We're going to be doing it with Bobby and Oz and all of the professionals. I think you're going to find it to be amazing. I think we found an answer to autism. How about that? Autism. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking in the Oval Office in the White House about autism, how it happens, so we won't let it happen anymore, and how to get at least somewhat better when you have it, so that parents can help their child, their beautiful child. That's a big one. I've been bugging everybody over there, get the answer to that. You know, 20 years ago, 1 in 10,000 were born with autism. 20 years ago. The most recent survey says 1 in 12. How bad is that? That's for young boys, baby boys, but also girls a little bit better. It's about 1 in 20, but we can't, because obviously there was something really wrong, and we think we know what that is. It's going to be, I think it's going to be one of the most important news conferences I'll ever have, and I look so forward to it.